As you can see, van life treated Kristin and I very well on our recent road trip, and here's how it all began. Number one, I've been really intrigued lately by living in a van, and I wanted to try it out for a bit. And two, exploring the Southwest and the Sedona area has been on my radar for a few years now, so my trip planning led me to finding BoHo Camper Vans, and they're out of Phoenix, Arizona, which then led to a call with one of the partners of the company, and it was no surprise that the founders of BoHo were super down to earth, and they liked my videos enough to lend me a van to make a video for them. They gave me complete freedom on this project, and so my goal was to create a film showcasing not just one of their vans, but the incredible outdoor lifestyle that comes with it. I hope you enjoyed what I created and what you just watched. I managed to grab a handful of photos as well. And if you're interested in a trip like this, look no further than bohocampervans.com. Keep in mind, they also do a lot of renovate to own projects. And as you dive into their methods and materials they use, I think you'll discover the immense passion they have for what they do, and thus there are no corners cut. Personally, I really enjoyed being surrounded by all the red cedar wood inside and learning about the amazing features like the water and the electrical system. I could have easily lived in that van for longer than a week, and I'm super inspired by what they're doing. I can tell you right now, if I wasn't renovating an airplane, I would probably be working on a van. You may have noticed a few iconic locations in the video, and the basic itinerary went like this. We flew into Phoenix, picked up the van, which was conveniently close to the Phoenix airport, PHX, and then immediately drove all the way up to Page, Arizona after a 5-hour flight and spent our first night at Lee's Ferry. It was a 4.5-hour drive from Phoenix, so it was a long day of traveling, flying and driving, and we were exhausted, but we woke up in an insanely gorgeous place called Lee's Ferry Campground. Those are the shots that you see at the beginning with Kristin on her roller skates and stuff. So the next day we went past the border into Utah, just 5 minutes past the border. We found a dispersed campground overlooking Lake Powell. A lot of people park right on the beach there, but it was a little sketchy for us without 4-wheel drive. And among just the amazing beauty in general, this area is known for their slot canyons. And so we did manage to squeeze in a tour of Antelope Canyon, but I wasn't allowed to film it. I highly recommend a slot canyon tour, and there's quite a few you can do that aren't as crowded as Antelope Canyon because that one's really popular. I suggest finding one that is maybe less popular if you want to avoid something commercialized with a lot of people, but there wasn't too many people when we were there because we were there in March. And then we also went to the grocery store that morning. The van came with a cooler, so we got some ice, put it in the cooler, and kind of made a refrigerator. You do have to empty the water out pretty often because the ice will melt, but a standard cooler does suffice as a short-term refrigerator when you put some ice in it. Next, we headed to Monument Valley, and I'm a huge fan of history, and this place is legendary. I was really excited about this place. I had seen it in the backgrounds of so many Western movies. It was unreal to see such iconic American monuments and Navajo Nation up close and personal. Because of the time of year we went, an otherwise packed campground called The View was occupied by only a handful of other people, and it felt like we had the whole place to ourselves. It was awesome. This is why I always travel in the shoulder months, and this campground is closed for winter and had literally just opened up the week we were there. After filming the next morning, we headed back south to check out Flagstaff, where we were greeted by a moody Humphreys Peak, tallest mountain in Arizona, and then some proper Mexican food. And then we hopped on the breathtaking highway 89A down to Sedona, and this famous road from Flagstaff to Sedona descends 4,500 feet, featuring switchbacks through sandstone canyons and pine trees before heading out into Red Rock. It is breathtaking. Keep in mind the road and the state park on the way, recreation areas, they're all going to be slammed in the summertime. I hear traffic can get pretty horrendous, but Sedona was everything that I ever dreamed of and more. The energy there was no joke. We stayed at a secret dispersed camping area on the west side of Sedona and the Red Rock Secret Mountain Wilderness, and wow, I mean, the scenery just blew my mind. It's one of the most incredible places I've ever been. I already can't wait to go back. We also did some hikes. If you've read anything about the hikes, there are dozens and dozens of 5-star hikes around Sedona, and we did Devil's Bridge, we did Boynton Pass Vortex, we did a strenuous 9-mile hike to Cathedral Rock, also a vortex. If you're doing a popular trail in Sedona, I recommend getting there early, and I mean really early, if you prefer a lot less people, like maybe even start hiking at dark. Even some of the trails we were on had a few people, but like it wasn't too bad. There's plenty of trails going around Sedona. There's so many. It really had me inspired to backpack there one day. So after a few nights in Sedona, the last stop we made was a big state park located near the Superstition Mountains, just outside Phoenix, and this was on the east side of Phoenix, and we wanted to get the majority of the drive over with before we had to fly back, so we ended up at this campground, and it was gorgeous. If you want the name of it, let me know. We had plenty of privacy. We were surrounded by mind-bending giant cactus. They don't even look real, but I didn't go hugging one to find out. Unfortunately, this was the one part of our trip where we didn't have good weather, and it rained the whole time, but it was still worth the trip. And now I know that I want to go back there. So that's a quick summary of what we did and where we went. Let me know if you have any questions about any more details on the locations we went or living in the van. It was a lot of work filming, so bless Kristin's heart for putting up with me bossing her around to get the shots I wanted, because it wasn't necessarily a relaxing vacation for us, but it's well worth the work to get to share the adventure with you. You know, part of me feels like I've lived a whole life out west in the late 1800s, and actually I did live in Escalante, Utah for 87 days when I was in high school, and I immediately fell in love with the landscape out there and horseback riding, and I'm still craving that clay soil right now.